Hi, I'm Hazel. It's actually Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some questions. This week, Blizzard announced that they are officially extending the Winds of Wisdom 100% experience buff all the way until the Shadowlands pre-patch. We don't know exactly when the pre-patch is going to be, but since the leveling changes coming in Shadowlands will arrive in the pre-patch, it's kind of a moot point. It doesn't really matter. There is no longer a wrong time to level. It's going to be fast now, and it's going to be fast after the changes, so it's really whenever you have time. On top of that, starting on April 20th and lasting until May 18th, there will be a second buff called Impressive Influence, giving you 100% extra rep with BFA and Legion factions, not including Oldham Accord and Rajani. So no extra rep with any factions before Legion, no extra rep with the two new ones added in 8.3, but if you still have allied races that you have not unlocked yet that you want to play right away and level with the experience buff, if you have not gotten your BFA Pathfinder or your Legion Pathfinder, then this buff is going to be a good time to get all of that. I am glad that they decided to extend the buff. They made the announcement about the rep buff first, and then made the announcement to extend the experience buff so that we get both. I think just the rep buff would have felt like a downgrade, especially given that once Shadowlands does eventually roll around, they're removing the reputation requirements for allied races. So the achievements will still be in there. You'll still need to do the questing achievements to unlock allied races, but you will no longer need to grind the associated reputation up to Exalted. So, you know, the only real reason to do it now is if you want to play one now, and it's nice that we'll be able to keep the experience buff in order to do that. I'm really excited about the experience buff extension. I have been having a lovely time leveling allied races, and I'm certainly not done yet. The reputation buff's not going to do a lot for me. I have my Pathfinders already, and I am really close to being done with the Voldenai. I'm probably going to have that finished like right before the buff comes out, so it doesn't really matter that much to me, but it is going to be nice for people that have not gotten their Legion BFA Pathfinders yet, or just want to unlock that allied race early. This week, we've had a few updates to the Shadowlands Alpha. Notably, this brand new character creation screen has been recently added. When I first saw this, I was really excited because it looks like you should be able to choose your class first, and then have it filter your race options based on the class you picked. It does not work that way yet, and I don't know if that's what they want to do with it, but that was my first thought when I saw this interface was, oh cool, you can start with your class or with your race and then work from there. Of course, it's not done yet. There are also some missing races, like, you know, where did Worgen go? But this interface, I think, definitely gives them a lot more room to both add more races if they want to add more allied races, as well as some more customization options going forward. They also opened up Torghast for testing this week on a couple of select classes, one of them being Shadow Priest, so I dived in a little bit on stream and got a feel for that. I am cautiously optimistic. I have been really excited for this feature ever since they announced it at BlizzCon. I love the kind of roguelike experience, despite the fact that I don't really play roguelikes. My favorite things to do in Hearthstone are battlegrounds, where you're kind of like drafting together a build based on available options that are a little different every time. And also they did a single player dungeon experience that was a similar idea. Like every couple of levels you choose between a few different upgrades, and then based on the options available, you kind of piece together a build. I think that they just call that roguelikes. I just didn't play those before, so Hearthstone is my first experience with it, but they're real fun. I'm really excited for that in Torghast. It appears to work really well. The environments were kind of cool. The different buffs that you can get, the anima powers that you unlock within a given run are neat. There is so far a very heavy emphasis on maw rats. They're NPCs, and you can, at least as a priest, not only can you kill them and have them explode onto other NPCs, but you can also mind control them to have them make more maw rats so that you have more rats to explode. You can turn yourself into a maw rat to stealth by other maw rats, or you can get yourself a maw rat harness so you can ride your maw rat in between maw rat stealths before you mind control some maw rats to generate more maw rats and then explode them onto all of the maw rats. It's good. I'm excited. It's definitely early, and the anima powers are for sure not quite done yet, but I am hopeful that this becomes much, much more replayable than Horrific Visions. I think that was my biggest complaint with them, is that Horrific Visions can start to feel like a real slog when you sit down to do a bunch of them in a row, so this should hopefully help with that feeling. In live modern WoW recently, Noble Garden started. There is nothing new this year, so just catch up on previous things if you're missing anything. There are a few different pets. There's the Swift Spring Strider mount you can get, and you can also transmog your Noble Garden cosmetics for as long as the event is up. So get those bunny ears on and get hopping. And that brings us to questions from this week. Miwa asks, is the new quest marker that appears in the middle of your screen an option to have in the settings, or are they forcing that on us? I feel like when games do that, it lures people into just following the marker, not really experiencing the game or exploring. Love exploring, finding all the hidden things. So I went and looked, and you can disable it. The option is under interface display, and then you can uncheck the in-game navigation feature. I definitely, if anything, I think for me though, I'm excited about it because I tend to be somebody that checks my map about 45 times a minute, so I'm already kind of unengaged with the world exploring wise, and I think that maybe having the marker there, if I can learn to use it and get used to not checking my map 45 times a minute, might help me like actually look around me as I'm playing, as opposed to just, you know, referring back to the map constantly. But you can definitely turn it off if it's not your cup of tea. And I got lots and lots and lots of questions about heirlooms and how they are going to work in Shadowlands. So here is what we have on the alpha so far. Heirlooms are still in the alpha. You can create them from your heirloom journal. You can equip them. They will still give you bonus experience. Clearly, they are not done yet. They haven't fully resolved how they're going to handle them. Every heirloom does still have 4 available upgrade levels, but all of them are also item level 29 at a level 50, regardless of what upgrade level they are. The heirloom vendors are still there in the game, and the upgrade items that they sell still refer to the old upgrade levels of like 90 and 100 and so on. So they're not done yet, but they're still in the game. I would be shocked if they took them out in any meaningful way. What I expect to see happen is for them to just scale to their equivalent levels between 1 and 50, depending on how far they scaled between 1 and 120 is what is most likely going to happen. We don't know for sure yet because they are not done, but so far so good. Somewhat related, I also got quite a few questions about level scaling, so I'm going to clarify it again. When the Shadowlands pre-patch hits and the level squish goes in, all level 120 characters are going to be squished down to 50, because we're going to level 10 levels through Shadowlands content to the new cap of 60. So if you had a character that was between 1 and 120, they are going to be that same percentage along between 1 and 50. So if you had a level 60 character right now, which is halfway to 120, they're going to get squished down to 25, which is halfway to 50. In my opinion, it's all a bit of a moot point because leveling is going to be so very, very much faster that it's not really going to matter if you're 27 or if you're 33 or if you're 45. Because you're going to catch up pretty quick. Early reports say that leveling 1 through 50 with no heirlooms can be done in 12 hours or so. I believe that was from a very practiced leveler, so for us normal people it might take us a bit longer. But with heirlooms you can presumably do it at that level or even faster. So I really wouldn't stress too much about what level you're going to end up at, because you can always catch up to 120 now if you want with the experience buff, or you know, it won't take that long. You are going to be spending much more time at endgame doing Shadowlands stuff than you will being stuck in the leveling experience. It should be much shorter. And that has been my week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions that you would like answered in a vlog, please leave them in the comments of the most recent one. Let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.